Welcome back, everyone. Today, we are going to continue building our Xamarin application, which uses Xamarin.Forms for the user interface. Today, we're going to be talking about upgrading our NuGet packages, getting Xamarin.Forms onto the latest and greatest, and how you can determine all those dependencies and make sure they're up to date too. So tune in. Welcome back, everyone. I'm James Montemagno. I'm a program lead for the .NET community over at Microsoft. I've been a Xamarin developer for nearly 10 years. I love building out Xamarin applications on this channel, and we've been building out our application from file new, going through configuration. Today, we're going to update our Xamarin.Forms and NuGet packages, and we're going to build this application out together. Now, I will put links over here and down below for the previous episodes in case you missed them. But hey, while you're here, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you get notifications of all of the episodes that I release here on my channel. I normally do live coding, but I also do sorts of different things on the channel, but usually focus in on Xamarin and building out mobile applications. But who knows what's next? Let me know what you want to learn below so I can go through them here in different tutorials. All right, let's go through upgrading our Xamarin.Forms NuGet packages, and in fact, all NuGet packages. Well, what is a NuGet package? Well, that's a good question. I built a Microsoft Learn module, which is a free interactive training module to learn all about .NET and C# dependencies using NuGet packages. So I'll put that link down in the show notes. You can learn and go through an activity yourself on how to install, update, and inspect different NuGet packages that are out there. Now, I keep saying NuGet packages. NuGet is a sort of distribution of code in a way, but this code is usually assemblies that your application can use. So for example, let's say you want some new functionality. You could write it yourself, or there might be someone from the community that has put out a NuGet package that you could use. So they wrote the code, they bundled it up for you, and you can install it inside of your application and use it, which is super cool. I've done it myself, and in fact, that is how Xamarin.Forms and Xamarin.Essentials are distributed as NuGet packages. This is different from .NET itself or different libraries that are built into .NET for your applications that ship with Visual Studio or ship with .NET. They get updated when you update .NET. These NuGet packages are pieces of code and functionality that your application can use over time, and they update independently of your application. So often when you do file new and you've been working on a project with anything, but specifically even with Xamarin.Forms, often you want to check for updates because you'll get bug fixes, new features, and new controls and new performance optimizations, all by updating the NuGet dependency. So you always want to check these out. Sometimes the IDE, you can set it up to notify you, but often I just go in once a week, every other week, or just follow the Xamarin blog or the release notes to see when things have been updating. The Xamarin team is pretty quick, so they have new updates out sometimes every single week, so you can follow along. So let's hop over into Visual Studio and see where we're at today. So we've been building out an application that is called My Coffee App. And this is what I just started, and we haven't done anything really yet, but we're just sort of learning the basics, the building blocks here. And we have My Coffee App, Android, and iOS. So this is our .NET Standard project, our Android project, and our iOS project. So let me zoom in over here one more time. And what I want to show you is that inside of each application, we'll see a dependencies node. And here we're going to see both packages and SDK. SDK specifically are things that are coming from .NET, like this is the .NET Standard library. Can't really upgrade that, it just comes with it. Under packages, we're going to see that there's both Xamarin.Essentials and Xamarin.Forms. You can have a drop down here that will show you what's included if there's any dependencies. So we can see inside the .NET Standard version of Xamarin.Essentials, system numeric vectors is required, and for Xamarin.Forms, nothing's required. That's nice. Now, if I go down under Android and iOS, under references, we'll see a bunch of different system libraries that are used. Then we see this little NuGet icon here because that's where Xamarin.Essentials and Xamarin.Forms are. Now, since Xamarin projects have an older sort of, they haven't upgraded to the latest project setting and system. We don't get those nice drop downs here, but that's okay because I'll show you how to investigate your applications. But the same thing is going to be true here for iOS. Under References, we'll see Xamarin.Essentials and Xamarin.Forms. Now, once .NET 6 comes out and Xamarin applications are migrated over, you'll see sort of the new drop-down system here, which is cool inside of it. But for now, we get Xamarin.Essentials, Xamarin.Forms. Now, that is what is installed by default for us. And if I right-click over here on my solution, there is an option that says Manage NuGet Packages for Solution. That's important. You can right-click on any project and say Manage NuGet Packages, but you almost always want to manage NuGet Packages for the entire solution. You want to upgrade everything over here. So once you do that, this brings up the NuGet Solution sort of Explorer, and it says, hey, this is the NuGet Package Explorer for the solution. And we can see that the .NET Standard Library actually has a package installed that's included automatically. You have Xamarin.Essentials and Xamarin.Forms. And that's because we're on the Install tab. Note that if you actually go to Updates, it's going to tell us that both Xamarin.Essentials and Xamarin.Forms have an update. Well, do I really have an update? Well, let's check it out here, because we can note that I actually have a checkbox that says Include Pre-Release. So this is up to you if you want to use the stable versions or you want to participate in testing out the pre-release or the next version of Xamarin.Essentials and Xamarin.Forms. And we can note that it says, hey, you have version 1532 and the next version 160 pre-4 is actually available. Same thing with Xamarin.Forms, 4.8.0, and then also 5.0, the next version is coming out soon. So you can decide if you want to update your NuGet packages based on this information. Some developers actually want to just use what's included in stable and not in the pre-release, and that's okay. But notice here, I unchecked it and still I have an update available for Xamarin.Forms. Here's 4.8.0, 4.8.0, and then different version numbers right here. Now let's walk through what this means, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and zoom out and then zoom in one more time for us here. Now note that 4 is the major, and then we have two different minor numbers here. So 4.0 is like major, and that usually represents if there's a bigger breaking change in our application. And sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't. You want to read the release notes. Usually here, what this means for the minor versions is this is when a new feature has been added. So normally there's new features, you just want to update. Xamarin.Forms sometimes have in the past used this version for service releases when it's substantial, but now they're more on a build system where this fourth number, the build number here, is just for when new bug fixes come out. So sometimes you may see a 4.8.1, which means that there's bug fixes, sometimes more substantial, but usually just smaller iterative releases here is what you want to do. So check this out. When you go and you want to update, it's very simple. You can check the checkbox here, hit update, or you can come over and select the version number that you want to install here. So let's say that you install it, but accidentally uncheck one or accidentally only installed the NuGet package into one of your projects. You're opening an older project. If I hit install here, this is going to go off. It's going to go update version 4.8.0.1687 from 145, whatever I had, 451. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. It's going to tell me exactly what it's doing. I'm going to hit OK here. If the NuGet package that you have has a license, the Xamarin.Forms one does under MIT, you have to accept it to install it. And it's going to go ahead now and update my .NET Standard project and my Android project over there. So let me go ahead and pull this out a little bit here. So we can note that if I look now, that there's actually two versions installed because I unchecked that checkbox. And that's actually not good. You'd want to definitely make sure that you're not doing this. In fact, the NuGet Solution Explorer will tell you so. It says, hey, you should consolidate. You have mismatching version numbers of Xamarin.Forms installed in your application. So here, you want to make sure that you install to the latest stable on all of them. So let's hit install and go. There we go, right? And it'll update just the iOS one there. So it's important to upgrade along the way as you're going. Now, this is only going to show you the top level NuGets that you have installed. And it doesn't mean that there's not dependencies that are installed for you automatically. So here for Xamarin.Essentials and Xamarin.Forms, what we'll note is if I scroll down inside of here, we can see that there are these things called dependencies. And what this is saying is that for Android, if you are compiling as Android 10 or higher, we're going to use Android X, which is the latest and greatest from Google for adding backwards compatibility to our app. If you're compiling it's 9, then the Android support libraries will be brought in. For UWP, this UAP app, there are a few additional dependencies like WinUI and Win2D that'll be brought in. And that's based on the version number that you have. And there's also even Tizen support down here. Notice that actually iOS has no dependencies. So that's kind of cool, actually, automatically. Now you can check these out here inside of the NuGet Solution Explorer, or you can go over to NuGet.org. Here's a way of browsing all the different packages. So here I can actually browse, see a bunch of different awesome libraries that are available. So here's Newtonsoft.json, which has nearly 1 billion downloads, which is for JSON serialization and deserialization. You can search for anything like Xamarin.Forms, for example, and that will show you any of the different Xamarin.Forms packages like Xamarin.Forms, Maps, and Visual Material. So here I'm going to go ahead and say just what's in Xamarin.Forms. You can see that it was updated 6 days ago. It has a URL. You can check out the source repository, the license. You can contact the owners. You can download the package, and you can see how active this NuGet package is, nearly 20 million installs. You can additionally see all of the different versions here and all the different versions of pre-release and stable. So you can see we're 11 days ago updating to that version, and many people are using the preview and checking out along the way. There's a few other cool features that are inside of here, such as dependencies. This is what showed up inside of the user interface of Visual Studio, except for you can actually click deeper and see what the dependencies of that dependency are and go further down the sort of rabbit hole, if you will, of NuGet packages. And you can also see use by. This is a cool feature. You can see that it'll show you some of the most popular different frameworks and libraries that are using Xamarin.Forms. So you can see, hey, what is this image loading library? What is this pop-in library? It has nearly a few million installs. I might want to check that out, which is nice. Same thing here. It's also going to show you GitHub repositories, all sorts of different ones that have this as an example. So reactive UI, the eShop on containers example. So there's a lot of things in here. Now, one thing that's really neat that some people overlook is you can actually download the NuGet package here and inspect it. So if you go over to the Microsoft Store on Windows, there's something from Claire Novotny, who I work with actually, is on the board of the .NET Foundation, called the NuGet Package Explorer. It's only available on Windows 10, but it's really awesome. You can download it, and when you download a NuGet package, you can say open. And you can go ahead and say, open it with the NuGet Package Explorer. And this will give you a way of inspecting everything that was bundled up and packaged. So much of the information that was inside of the portal and on the website, but you can see exactly who it was published by. You can see the SHA for the publishing, the repository it was in, if the signature is valid. Here, there's no source link information here, which is fascinating, but who the authors are, the MIT license, and then up here is really fascinating. It's the package contents. This is sort of nerding out on package dependencies, but you can come into this thing and you can decide what are all of the actual dependencies that are being brought in, all the DLLs, all the libraries for different net standard, for Tizen. You can look at build, different properties. Here's a ProGuard file that's automatically configured for you. Assets like an image that are here. So you can really kind of go in and say, oh, what is all this stuff that's really coming in and what's brought into my application for .NET 4.6, .NET Standard, all these different things, which is really neat. So you can kind of really determine, oh, there's language files or resources that are coming in. You can really investigate everything that's going on inside of here. So this is really, really cool. It has the shot, has a pre-release, everything like that. If you wanted to, you could also click on a newer version or a stable version. So here I'm going to click on 4.8.0 and then download that package. And now when I go ahead and open that up, let's go ahead and see, there we go, that we will note that in this version, as it goes through, is that we have a valid signature, no source link information in that one, but we have MIT, we have all the different settings, it has the Git repository, all the dependencies are in here too. You can actually click on one and you can open it in the feed, you can download it, and kind of really navigate through this. It's really awesome, and I'll link that into the show notes below too. All right, so a few things back over here. In our last episode, we went in, we actually upgraded our Android project over here to use Android 10. So you want to make sure that you have updated your libraries, everything like that, and make sure that it is updated. It's good to go using Android X like we saw. You may, inside of NuGet over here, see additional libraries, maybe even older Xamarin project. Well, you can edit that. You can actually come into a project and say open. Well, what I like to do actually is I like to do an unload project on Android, and then this will show you what's inside of the csproj file. And here we're going to see that there's a target framework, which I'm compiling against. If I scroll down, keep scrolling, we will note that there are these things called package references. This is what the NuGet package explorer is using to show you if there's upgrades available and what is changing at the end of the day. So this is saying, hey, use Xamarin.Forms version this number. So you could open this in VS Code, find all of them in your project, in your folder, or even upgrade it manually. So if you knew the version, you could shove it in here and try to upgrade it manually. If you're using older versions of Xamarin.Forms and have an older project, you may see a lot of different Android dependencies, things like that. You want to get rid of those things, and you want to make sure that you just have just Xamarin.Forms, just Xamarin.Essentials, and it will bring in the different dependencies for you automatically. Same thing is true over on iOS. If you click unload over here, it'll bring up the csproj, and as you scroll down, you're going to see a bunch of different information, and finally the package references. So that's how you really know what's included in your app. Same thing true over here. I can just double click on the .NET Standard project. It uses the newer project systems, and we can see here's just Xamarin.Forms and Xamarin.Essentials. So it has everything you need right here. The defaults are good to go. So if you ever needed to modify or bring things in, you have everything at your fingertips right here inside of your project. Now, there's a lot of information, but we walk through exactly how to determine what is installed in your application, what the dependencies are, how to upgrade a pre-release, how to explore the NuGet packages, what is a NuGet package, and of course, how to even find new NuGet packages that are out in the world that you can explore. Now, another thing I want to show is the Xamarin.Plugins repo that I have over on my GitHub. This is a really neat repository that will show you all the really great NuGet packages that are out there for Xamarin and Xamarin.Forms applications. Things like Xamarin.Essentials, Shiny, which is a great library that is really advanced, HTTP transfers, background jobs, Bluetooth. But you can scroll through and find different functionality for your app, like custom vision, file uploaders, geolocation, in-app building, screenshot, store reviews, toast, different databases and caching layers, and just some awesome .NET libraries that you may want to include in your application. So all sorts of good stuff here. If you're like, hey, where do I go? Or what are some great control vendors out there that are enabling me to do this stuff? So you can go through this. I'll put it in the show notes below, but it's on my GitHub. It's called Xamarin.Plugins. All right, well, that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you really enjoyed it. I like to kind of go really deep on these different subjects, how you can upgrade, because as you're developing your application, once you know how to do it once, you're going to seamlessly upgrade in the future. Now, I will say, how do I determine where do I upgrade? Do I do pre-release? Do I not do pre-release? Well, it depends on what functionality you want. If there's some really cool features in pre-release and you have a while till you release, go check it out. If you're up against a deadline, maybe don't update all your NuGet packages and just test as is. But you want to definitely check out the Xamarin and Xamarin.Forms release notes and Xamarin.Essentials release notes. I'll put those in show note links below as well. But definitely, I encourage you to check out the latest pre-releases. Upgrade. I nearly upgrade seamlessly every single time. But always use version control, whether you're using Git or Subversion or GitHub or Bitbucket. Make sure you just create a branch and say NuGet update on this day, and you can always roll back easily enough. But you've also learned in this video exactly where those settings are. They're inside of your csproj, so you can easily adjust those at any time. All right, well, that's going to do it again for this episode. Don't forget to subscribe and ding that notification bell so you get notified on all of the next upcoming episodes that I have in building our very first Xamarin application for iOS and Android with Xamarin.Forms. Now, if you want to go a little bit deeper, don't forget that I live stream on Fridays on twitch.tv/JamesMontemagno. And I also have some of my past episodes down over there in the past videos. There's a live stream category, so definitely check that out. All right, everyone, thank you so much. Don't forget to go ahead and hit like on there if you like this video and leave some comments. I've been reviewing all the previous comments that have been coming in. Helps me know what you want to learn so I can make new videos that hopefully help you out on your journey to building applications with Xamarin, C# and .NET and all that good stuff. All right, everyone, have a good one, and thanks for watching.